no problem. Khrushchev didn't bother examining the papers of Mendel FUTERFAS. He was a legend among the Chassidim and a nemesis for the KGB. Before them, the NKVD, the NKVD. But he had promised Macmillan, and the papers were issued, and Mendel FUTERFAS came and was transported to Great Britain to his home. When he came, there was a lot of fanfare, a lot of adulation from the families that he had helped. Many of them had settled in London. His own sister and brother-in-law, Rabbi Ben Zion and Esther Golda Shem Tov, settled in London. And it was the legendary Ben Shem Tov that helped to build Lubavitch in its infrastructure and all of its facets, not just in London, but all over the world. And this brother-in-law had just lost his wife, the sister of Mendel FUTERFAS. And the Chassidim were interested that Mendel should not have to sit shiva, to be a mourner at the time of his coming back to his family. So they kept him busy for several weeks, till after the 30 days. And Mendel didn't even know his sister had passed on. That's how busy they kept him. Finally, after all of the efforts of the Hasidim, he was able to finally sit down with his wife and have a few moments of private conversation with her. He had been for several weeks in the presence of hundreds of Hasidim, farbrengen, drinking, saying l'chaim, discussing Torah, something he couldn't do openly in the Soviet Union. His wife had no family albums. Hasidim were not into pictures at that time. What she had was an interesting collection of letters from the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, and his successor, Rebbe of our generation. And she says, you know, all of these letters are addressed to me, except for one. One of them is addressed to you. Can you explain this to me? He looked at it, and sure enough, it was addressed to the Chassid Menachem Mendel Sheyichya, Lag BaOmer Tafshin Vav, 1946. It reads more or less the following way. His telegram concerning the health of his wife has been duly received. Maybe God's will that she have a speedy recovery. The lady died a short while ago, almost 64 years after receiving that telegram. She was deathly ill then, survived for that long time. That period of time which actually spans my lifetime, for it happened about 65 years ago. But that letter was sent by the Rebbe to Mrs. FUTERFAS in Pocking in Germany, West Germany, at a time when Mendel could not receive it. His telegram has been duly received. What telegram, I ask you? Who gave a telegram? It were his thoughts. Those thoughts were received by the Rebbe in Brooklyn. And he responded to them and wanted to know, wanted to tell his wife that he knew where her husband was and that she should feel confident that she would be well, and well enough to raise her family, to make it a source of light and a beacon of light for all Jews, all over the world. For today, the FUTERFAS family is all over the world. And their connection with the Rebbe is no less than the connection of their grandfather, great-grandfather, grandfather in a jail somewhere in the Soviet Union, thinking about his wife and the Rebbe. For you see, thoughts are alive, and those who have a soul that penetrates senses thoughts wherever they may be. And we are connected profoundly by our thoughts and by our loves, by our goals, by our yearnings. Let our thoughts be pure. Let our yearnings be noble. Let the purpose of our life be something that we could look back at and say, of this we are proud. These are my words upon becoming a senior citizen.